לפניו ונעימה לפניו שירה חדשה ונעימה לפניו ונעימה לפניו שירה חדשה ונעימה לפניו ונעימה לפניו שירה חדשה Beautiful harmony. Okay, I'm going to learn for a few minutes, and then I want to talk about this coming Shabbos at the end for like literally 3 minutes if it's possible. But Hashgacha, printer's down. So if you have a sefer, if you don't have a sefer, look in with someone. And we're on Daf Shin Mem Aleph. This is a piece in Shin Mem Aleph. Daf Shin Mem Aleph. We're still in Shalosh Shidduch. Seder Seuda Shlishis. So we've been in the heart of Mizmor L'David. We've been talking about Mizmor L'David for a while already right now. Talking about Shalosh Shidduch for a few months. But Mizmor L'David, Hashem roi lo echsar, bin oizdeshe yarbitzeni miminchis ne'aleni. And we're up to Shivtecha mish'enet hema yenachamuni. Shivtecha mish'enet hema yenachamuni. So there's a lot of words we say all the time and we shuckle and we look very frum, but we don't really have any idea what we're saying. Nachon? This is like the daily Musar here, right? Huh? You know what I'm talking about, right? Right. You know, it's Shivtecha mish'enet hema yenachamuni. You know what Shivtecha means? You know what a shevet means? A shevet is a whip. Shivtecha mish'enet hema yenachamuni. What's going on over here? Your whip is going to give me a nechama? Mish'enet I understand. That's what I lean on. Mish'an, mish'an. Ze mashu acher. Shivtecha mish'enet hema yenachamuni. So the Rebbe here, the Birman here has an important diuk, and there's something that happened 2 weeks ago that I have to share with you as I was preparing yesterday, that had continues to have a strong rishim on me. It's something that happened that I was at, that I haven't stopped thinking about it. But look inside. This seems to be contradicting. Shivtecha umish'enecha. Sheken Shivtecha hu milashon makel chovlim. We have this lashon in Chazal. Whenever it talks about whips, it's talking about a shevet. What's the lashon by chosech? איך זה הולך? חוסך שבטו שונא בנו. It's a word that doesn't work in 2025. Because that means if you spare the whip,
rod spoils the child.
Right. Hatzlacha with that one today. You're a bem. They took that a big chumrah over there. That's the one thing, like, out of all that's the one they were mamish. Mehadrin. הנה לכהרו תתי סתרי, שכן שבטך מלשון מקל חובלים, ואילו mish'enet הוא מקל, עליו נשענים ובו נסמכים. And the makel is a thing that's the staff that you lean on. mish'enet, ela bi'uro. Chevre, this is Emunah 101, but it's Emunah that pushes us to really get our Emunah on. He says like this, ela bi'uro. she'af ma shenireh keshivtecha hamakel banu. That those things in life that seem that they're like whips, where we get patched from Shamayim, or from someone else even, but we get patched. Be'emes eino ela mish'antecha. That really those things, and you look back in your life at all the different moments that you mamish got whipped, but you were big enough to look into the eye of what was happening and say, Ribono Shel Olam, aye mekom kvodo, within the zets, those things you realize looking back are really mish'antecha. Those are the things that you ended up leaning on in life for future experiences that go on. Each person here has this like interesting, weird, deep smirk in your face because each person's thinking about at least like 37 times where you could say, oh yeah, I know exactly what he's talking about over here.
Or the big one.
Huh?
Or the big one.
I don't want to ask too much. You're saying about Klal? You're talking about personally in life or in Klal?
Sometimes it's like a
Of
big
course,
one.
we're still nowhere close to see the mish'enet that came out of that was a result of Shivtecha, of Simchas Torah 2 years. We're not there yet. We're not there yet, but we will be. By the way, this is not a word you go to a shiva house and say either. Right. You don't go to a shiva house and say, I just want to tell you guys, right? Shivtecha, mish'enet, yenachamuni. This is your own avoda meimis of your lave that you have to go through. Be'emes ein ha'ela mish'enet, klomar, nidme lo la'adam she'akadosh baruch hu miyaser oso mi'avi alav ra'ah. That it seems that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is torturing you and bringing bad things upon you. Ach be'emes ein ze ela l'tovaso, u'mish'enes nocha lisamech alav, ve'yediya zo hi yenachamuni. What is the consolation? What's the nechama? Knowing that when I get zetzed, there's a mish'enet that can come out of this. And living with that da'as, where right before we say, gam ki elach begetz al-mavis. Right? People that have had to go through the heavy things with shalom bayis, or they've had to get divorced, and then they'll get to their zivuk sheni. So I always, I had a roommate. That we moved in together as 20. Well, he was older than me. I was younger, and we said we are taking this place for 1 year. It's a nice, quiet place in Rehov Ben Maimon in Rechavia. They said, we are taking this place for 1 year. Bezeu. And we're not taking on a 2 year, 1 year lease. We're out of here in a year with our Neshos Chayil. We got married a year later, 3 days apart from each other. The only thing is, he got divorced about 3 years later. And every, mashu kaze, maybe even more, I don't remember. But while he was getting divorced, I begged him, don't forget how horrible you feel. Please, please, because once you're going to get divorced, and then you're going to start wondering, was it really that bad? I'm here to remind you how much pain you were in, but I'm here to remind you that what you're experiencing right now will be that you're going to lean on to makabel the next stage of love in your life. Chas Hashem, he's remarried and has a number of children with his new wife, and these are things that it's very hard. It's easier to look back. Live, while it's happening, is where the avoda is. That's where it is. So Shalosh Shuddis, Shabbos, it's all oros, it's all beautiful. I have to say bye to Shabbos soon and go back into a world where there's full of Hester. Like Aaron was saying right now, Shabbos, klum chaser beis HaMelech. Sunday, harbe chaser beit HaMelech. Monday, harbe chaser beit HaMelech. Shabbos, klum chaser beis HaMelech. So if nothing's lacking there, I go with the Yediyah Brura, Shivtecha, mish'enet, hema yenachamuni. That's my nechama. Now look, turn the page, actually turn 2 pages. Turn 2 pages. Maimer Nora Amar Rav HaKodesh Rav Shlomo Katz, the Shatzer Rav Schusi Hagen Aleinu. We should never ever know such things. Ever, chas v'shalom. Kasher shav mikvuras b'no Rav HaKodesh Rav Yaakov Schusi Hagen Aleinu ve'af saval meruros b'ptiras kol banav al panav la'aleinu. The Shatzer Rav was a big Bal Yisurim. He went through tremendous Yisurim that none of us should ever have to go through, Chalila, bearing children. But he said like this, we say in Atagibor, Melech, meimis, ומחיה, ומצמיח, ישועה. You're a king that meimis, you bring people to death, ומחיה, and bring them life, ומצמיח, ישועה, and Yeshua sprouts forth from it. HaKadosh Baruch Hu Melech, shebein kasher meimis, ubein kasher mechaya, whether God right now brings upon death into the world, or whether there's new life coming into the world, the inyan is, he said, he's saying this after burying his son, Tamid hu matzmiach Yeshua. But Yeshua, salvation, is always sprouting forth from whatever is going on, even though to our eyes it doesn't look like it at all. Shegam keshechashach alav olamo b'ptiras b'no ahuvo. And also when his world, his whole metzias became so darkened and with a fig, with like the Pashut choshech Mitzrayim b'ptiras b'no ahuva, ein tachlis tzara zo ela lehatzmich Yeshua. The only purpose of this tzara is b'matzmiach Yeshua. And here's the story. I've mentioned her name so many times the last year because it's an agada mitmashechet. It's like a story that keeps on going on. I told you that the highest experience I've had this year so far, Tafshin Pevav, without a doubt, was the wedding of Rachel Goldberg and Aminadav Rotenberg. Remember I told you how that afternoon when we went to Tzomit Kfar Tzion to welcome back Eitan Mor, and then from there you went into Kfar Tzion for the wedding of Rachel and Aminadav. Rachel, widow of Reb Avi Goldberg, Hashem Yikom Damo, 8 beautiful kinderlach, and Aminadav Rotenberg, the sweetest Yid in the world, who was a good friend and worked with Reb Avi Goldberg in Himmelfarb High School in Yerushalayim, who had 4 kids, I think 4, and his wife passed away 4 or 5 years ago from cancer, Noah. So, oh, slicha, you're right. You're why do we know? Because I told you guys that when they were asked how many kids you have, they said, Achadasar kochvaya. Nachon, 3 kids. So 11 kids altogether. At the wedding, I haven't played a wedding in, I have no idea how many years. It was something that is nishkach mimeni, chazdei Hashem, it's not something I ever want to. But she said, but she asked that, everlasting love, and that had to be under the chuppah. That was the whole story of that whole sipur. And then she said, do you mind, we're not doing a whole wedding. We're not doing a whole sit down and Kabbalah, the whole thing. We want 15 minutes of like, not like simchadik, heartsick dancing, but b'mitinut. I don't know what the right word for that is. Like
measured?
Yeah.
Moderate?
Yeah, no, measured. Like, like it should be a dancing, but it shouldn't be like, we're flying this and that. Like we're very conscious of the nisibot of how we came to this situation. And like a serious simcha. That's pretty good, yeah. So we said, would you be up for it? I said, you would. I basically told her, if you asked me right now to be the badchan and come up with the whole thing in Yiddish for Birkas Hamazon, I would do it. Are you kidding me? Of course I do it. Mama Sheila. And I was there with my holy brother Yitzchak Atiyas was on the percussion. His wife Tamar was on the flute. this tzaddik boy that he was crying while he was playing clarinet with me. And then I realized he was a talmid of Rav Avi Goldberg, and he was playing clarinet, this beautiful guy his name was Uri Averbuch from Tkoa, if any of you know him. Amazing, amazing. Kitzer, and Odelia Berlin, if you know who she is, her father's Musa Berlin, she was playing keyboard. It was an interesting mix. It was like really interesting. And this guy, Alon Hillel, playing bass from Bat Ayin. It's very interesting, 5, 6 people. And there's no drums, and there's no electric guitar. There's just like this acoustic mesh of like people that just love, and their hearts are wide open. So when we started playing a few nigunim of dancing, so Odelia came up and she had a list of nigunim. It was like maybe 8 or 9 nigunim. I assumed that were asked to be sung during the dancing. But the problem is, I'm bichlal not in the loop at all of what people play at weddings today. I have no idea. I'm barely, even if I go to chuppahs, I barely stay for after that. So I have no idea. So I was like, okay, this should be interesting. And I'm looking at the names here, and I'm like, I don't know half these songs. I just don't know them. I figured out a way to whatever. I pulled a Yossi. I figured out a way to get my way in there and out of there. But the thing is like this, is that there was one song, and I'm like, I only know one tune for this song, and there's no way they're asking me to sing this, because last time I even heard this song was like my father leading a Shirat David in Los Angeles in like 1985. There's no way. Okay? This is the song, right? I'm going to say there's no way this is the song they want. It can't, like, this is not in, right? So they wrote on there, Michamocha. Like, there's a Rav Shlomo Michamocha. It's for sure not what they want. No one knows that song. But the negun was, Micha, Maicha, Micha, Maicha, Bal Gevudais, Umidai Melech. Anyone know this one? When was the last time you heard it? Bal Gevudais, Umidai Melech, Melech, meimis ומחיה Melech, meimis ומחיה Melech, ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה. I never played it before in my life either. And I'm like, there's no way, that can't be. So I told and she kept on saying, this one has to be played. And I ignored it for like another 5 minutes. She came back and said, listen, this is the one that has to be played. So I said to Odelia, play the first few notes on the klidim so I could hear it during the dance. Like, I'll just follow or pretend to follow. So she starts playing dun 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 dun. Like, this is retro. Some nigunim are retros, like they're pulled back from, like, they come back, they make the scene again, they make the circuit again after not being sung for like 20, 40 years. There are a lot of songs like that. You think it's a new nigun? Do you know who wrote that nigun? The Tzemach Tzedek wrote that nigun. The third Lubavitcher Rebbe wrote that nigun. And it's in the Sefer Nigunim of Chabad. Actually, it sounds a little bit different, the tempo is different. But things have like, I don't know, it comes back again from the dead.
Wave.
Huh?
A remix.
A remix. So she starts playing that. I'm like, dum dum dum. I'm like, this is weird. This is bizarre. Why would this nigun be asked to be sung tonight? If I could tell you what it looked like to see him and to see the children of both sides dancing to the words, Melech, meimis ומחיה Melech, meimis ומחיה Melech, meimis ומחיה. And then they went up, ומצמיח yeshuah. The 8 Goldberg kids buried their father mamash a year before. The 3 other kids buried their mother 4 years before. Pain immeasurable. What are they doing here in Kfar Etzion? That was the nigun they were mitakesh on, you understand? That was the nigun. Their whole metzius is becoming Shivtecha mish'enet hema yenachmuni. It's the only metzius they have. I feel like the whole country is like this, but when you see it like this, you see it in front of you like this. I haven't told over this story because I'm still processing it. Is a moment that telling you it will never leave anyone, and I was shocked that people even knew it. And maybe they picked up on it right away. I don't know how it came into the circuit. I don't know. Someone said they started singing it recently in Migdal Oz. Maybe that's how I don't know. I don't know. So I just it's a moment like that you know. If you remember this, what I just told you, Shalashuddis can never be the same. Never be the same. Life can never be the same. These are things we're witnessing with our own eyes. Shivtecha v'mesh'antecha hema yenachamuni. Shatzer Rav says, "Ein tachlis tzara zo ela latzmiach yeshuah." It perhaps is not the yeshuah that we would think would be ideal. We don't make those decisions of the ideal yeshuahs. We don't make those decisions. The Eibishter does. Melech, meimis, michamocha. Baal gvurus mido melech. We don't do melecha. Michamocha baal gvurus mido melech. Melech, meimis, ומחיה, ומצמיח, ישועה.